Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to day 2 of Sri Ramayana series. So I'm very happy to see that all of you are eagerly waiting already, even before I could go live. So welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and begin with the prayers. As always, we have a lot to cover today. So let's go ahead and switch the screen so that way you can also take a look at the prayers that I'm going to share, and you can also join me in chanting these beautiful prayers. So, 9 days of Ramayana series in preparing our consciousness for the historic event on January 22nd, 2024. Also, wish you all a very happy Pongal, Makara Sankranti, Uttarayana. Today is the auspicious day that Bhishma Pitamaha left his body looking at the lotus face of Lord Sri Krishna. So, having said that, having greeted you, let's go ahead and begin. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale. Also, meanwhile, before I proceed further, can some of you please say audible in the chat section in case I am audible? So you can just put a comment saying that audible. So that way it's a confirmation for me that everything is fine and we can proceed further. If not, I can do something different. Yeah, so kindly do that. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you everyone. Many of you have said audible. Thank you very much for that confirmation. Let's proceed. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So let us offer our humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada as we begin day 2 of Valmiki Ramayana series. So at this point, let me also chant a few special Mangalacharan prayers that are specific to Ramayana, that's given right in the beginning of Valmiki Ramayana. Shuklam Bharadaram Devam Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह कविताशाकं वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि रामं रामानुजं सीतां भरतं भरतानुजं सुग्रीवं वायुसूनं च प्रणमामि पुनः पुनः नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्र यमानिललेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चंद्रार्कम रुद्रणेभ्यः. So Sri Ramayanam ki jai, Valmiki Maharshi ki jai. So Hare Krishna everyone. Yesterday we got a great introduction to Ramayana. We understood what is Ramayana, how many kandas are there, who composed Ramayana, how many shlokas are there, how Ramayana is universally famous. And we also went deep into the Ramayana Avatara Leela. How Valmiki Maharshi was Ratnakara, a dacoit, and he was transformed in heart by the association of a great sage, celestial sage Narad Muni. And also Valmiki Maharshi, when he was taking a noon bath at Tamasa Nadi, he witnessed this very heart-wrenching incident of a hunter shooting down a male crowncha bird. The two birds which were in union, one of them was shot down. And then upon that, spontaneously, the seed mantra emanated from the lotus mouth of the great Rishi Valmiki. मानिषाद प्रतिष्ठां त्वम् आगमा शाश्वती समाः यत्क्रौञ्चमिथुनादि एकमवधि काममोहितम्. So for this seed mantra, we got an understanding of four different meanings. One is the literal meaning. The second is Rama killing Ravana from the perspective of Rama. And the third meaning is from the point of view of Ravana, Ravana kidnapping Sita Devi. And the fourth, that is most relevant for all of us, is the Lord reclaiming the conditioned soul. And then we also understood how the entire Ramayana is there in this one shloka, the Bija mantra. And also all the Navarasas are there in Sri Valmiki Ramayana, which we can all relish during this brief overview of Ramayana during the 9-day series. And also upon Valmiki feeling certain amount of guilt, why did he curse the hunter like this? That he should never be peaceful, never be prestigious for the rest of eternity, for the rest of the time to come. So upon lamentation, Lord Brahma appears and he instructs Valmiki that actually Saraswati Devi herself was seated on his tongue and it is she who actually spoke this mantra. And he also gives a specific instruction to Valmiki Maharshi that he should go ahead and complete composing the entire Ramayana. And the first speakers, or rather the singers of Ramayana, were none other than the most charming, most wonderful sons of Lord Sri Ramachandra himself, that is Lava and Kusha. And where did they sing? In the grand assembly, where Lord Ramachandra, seated along with the golden form of Mother Sita, was about to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, and in that august assembly, to everybody's astonishment, Lava and Kusha so beautifully, melodiously sang Ramayana. So this is where we had stopped. Now let's proceed further. Balakanda. So there are 7 kandas. They are like the 7 rooms in the house that Lord Ramachandra resides. So Balakanda, although the name says Balakanda, actually the Balya Leela of Rama is not very elaborately described in this kanda. Very quickly, hardly there is any account given of the childhood pastimes of Lord Ramachandra in Valmiki Ramayana. But if you see a few other Ramayanas, yes, they have included certain pastimes. But in Valmiki Ramayana, very hardly, I mean, rarely do you see any childhood pastimes of Lord Rama. Very, very brief. Just a few here and there, and then they quickly move on to the further pastimes. But why did they call it Balakanda then if there are not many Balya Leela of Lord Ramachandra? This Kanda, this name Bala, actually not refers to Lord Ramachandra's Balya Leela, it actually refers to Vishwamitra Muni. Now, why is Vishwamitra Muni called Bala? Because Vishwamitra Muni plays the role of a guru. Not only the role of a guru, he is a guru. And why is the guru called Bala? Because just like a child, they are very unaware of whose status is what. They just freely mingle with everybody. So similarly, the guru means heavy. He's so heavy with knowledge. He is capable of taking the conditioned soul, reuniting with the Supreme Lord. In spite of his greatness, in spite of his, enormous amount of glories, still he is Bala, just like a child. They mingle with everybody. The Guru also does not discriminate. He just mingles with everyone. And also another reason why Bala, just like the parents in the home may have a lot of responsibilities and the anxieties that come along with the responsibilities. However, if you see the children of that house, they are unaware of what is going on. They are just absorbed in playing. The parents may be worried, how are we going to pay the EMI? How are we going to resolve this issue, this bill, that bill? But the child has absolutely no anxiety. Similarly, in this world also, although all these conditioned souls are filled with anxieties, but a guru, in spite of being in the world, he is not of the world. He is anxiety free. He's so peaceful because he's always absorbed in Krishna consciousness, spiritual consciousness. That is another reason why this name Bala is used for Guru. So, like this, Balakanda is not named Bala because of the Balya Leela of Ramachandra, but actually Bala refers to Vishwamitra Muni, who is the Guru of Lord Ramachandra, Lakshmana, and others. So, with that introduction to Balakanda, so right in the beginning, the glories of Ayodhya is described very beautifully in Valmiki Ramayana. How glorious! Everybody, even today, is aspiring for Rama Rajya. But not only Rama Rajya, but even Dasharatha Rajya was so glorious. How glorious was it? The very beautiful description of the architecture, the design of the entire city of Ayodhya, the people, the king, the qualities of the citizens, the qualities of the king, the seasonal effects during that time. So many wonderful things are described. Talking about the citizens, every citizen had his own palace. They did not live in ordinary houses. Every one of them had their own palace. And every morning when they stepped out of their house, they would decorate themselves so beautifully, and everybody would walk out of the house with a golden crown on his head. Maybe I should not call crown, but what can we say? A golden turban kind of a thing. So that was the glory. And they had golden vessels, golden utensils. They would eat in silver plates, golden plates. Unlike today, we have come to like paper plates, not even metal plates. So we think we have progressed a lot, but actually that was the real progress. We have regressed, not progressed in many different ways. And also, all kinds of people, there was so much of diversity in Ayodhya. But although there was so much diversity, there were two types of people who were not there, who did not live in Dasharatha Rajya. Who are those two types of people? One, crazy people. Nobody had any mental issues. Yeah, now hardly, every other person is going through mental depression and anxiety, taking anxiety pills, so much of stress. But during Dasharatha Rajya, there were no crazy people in the society. And also another type of people, that is miserly people. What we say, right? Pisnari, Kanjus. Nobody was a miser. Everybody was so generous. Although the citizens were very generous and they were very keen on doing dana dharma, they were very charitably oriented. Still, nobody had to do charity. Why? Because nobody was in a condition to receive the charity. Nobody was impoverished. So this was the glory of the status, the lifestyle, the life condition of the citizens of Ayodhya. And also, just like there is Purusha Sukta, there is Shri Sukta, there is also Ayodhya Sukta. And in this Ayodhya Sukta, it is given that actually the city of Ayodhya was created by none other than Swayambhuva Manu, the son of Lord Brahma himself. So you can imagine, if Manu has created this city, how glorious, how great this city must be. And in Ayodhya Sukta, it is given that this city was so great, Ayodhya, the city in which there is never yuddha, no quarrels, no wars. And also another meaning, Ayodhya means a city that was never ever defeated in war. Nobody could conquer Ayodhya by waging battle, by waging war. So this is why when Ravanasura was going around in all the three lokas and he had conquered so many planets and he could even control the grahas, the planets, Ayodhya Sukta says even the demigods, the denizens of heaven, they desire to reside in Ayodhya. Why? Because Ayodhya is a city that even Ravana could not conquer. So this was the glory of Ayodhya. There were very broad roads, and every street in the evening there would be some performance of art and culture, maybe some musical performances going on, some dance performances going on. So this art and culture exhibition in a city or a society is a depiction of how peaceful and happy the people are. If a person is always concerned about the bills to be paid and the problems to be solved, you can't sit and enjoy a musical concert. You can't sit and appreciate a dance performance. You can't sit and relish a drama and action. So this showed how content, how peaceful, and how happy and how tasteful for the fine arts that the citizens of Ayodhya had. Every night before they went to bed, there would be some drama, there would be some musical rendition, there would be some dance performance. And this was a common sight. And everybody were anxiety free. And also the king who ruled, that is Dasharatha Maharaj, he was very well versed in Vedas. A person who is ruling over the citizens should be well versed in Vedas. If not, he will exploit people. He will not know what is the dharma of a king, how to rule. So like this, there are so many beautiful descriptions that are given. And also it is said that no child would die while the parent was alive, which is very unnatural. But now what do we see? Even little babies, little children, you just have to open the newspapers. It is so depressing to see that, so many young people dying. But this was not the case in Ayodhya, dear devotees. No child would die in the presence of the parent, while the parent was alive. And no woman would become a widow. The husband would not die before the wife. Now you may say, hold on, Mataji, but what about the case of Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi, and the remaining 350 wives of Dasharath Maharaj? Didn't they all become widows when Dasharath Maharaj passed away? So how can you say there were no widows? That's a good question. And here is the answer for that. What is that? So a woman is not called a widow when she just loses her husband. In spite of the husband having passed away, if she has sons, and if those sons are dharmic, and under the protection of those sons in that household, if dharmika rituals, if festive occasions are being celebrated, then that woman is not considered a widow. So this is why, although the wives of Dasharatha Maharaj, they lost their husband, still they are not considered widows because they had their sons, and the sons were, the most dharmic, and they did all the dharmic rituals that they were supposed to do. So in that sense, actually they are not considered widows. This is the Vedic understanding of who is a widow and who is not. So like this, there are, although so many wonderful things were happening in the city of Ayodhya, Maharaj Dasharath was so glorious, but still there was one big problem that he had that was the cause of his distress. Just hold on one second. So Dasharatha's distress. So what was this distress? That he did not have children, and specifically he did not have sons. So the very first wife that Maharaj Dasharath accepted was Devi Kaushalya. So Kaushalya Devi was from Koshala Desha, and after that the second wife married by Dasharatha. Why did he accept a second wife? Not out of lust, but because he did not have any sons, any children. So when he accepted Sumitra, actually, for Sumitra, there is not much description given as to, about her background, where did she come from, and things like that. But somewhere it is given that actually Sumitra was from Magadha Desh. She was the daughter of the Magadha Raja. What a beautiful name that Sumitra has. Mitra. In Sanskrit, friend has many different names. Suhrit, Mitra. So mitra means mitam trayati iti mitra. Mitam. That person who expands our mitam, expands our limitations, he or she is called mitra. And what are those limitations that we have? The bodily conception of life, and based on that bodily conception of life, this limited understanding, this narrow understanding that we have, that it's just about 4 or 5 people who are mine, this is my house, this is my wife, this is my husband, these are my children, this is my country. This is mita, limiting the soul, which is actually enormous, which is unconditional, and limiting the soul to these conditions based on the bodily concept of life. And who is that person who expands these limitations? That is our Guru. So, our Guru, our spiritual master, is our real Mitra. Why? Because he expands, he removes these limitations. He says, you belong to a bigger family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole creation of the Lord, all the beings are our family members. Because we all share the same Supreme Father, that is Krishna. So, why Sumitra is called Sumitra? Not only Mitra, Sumitra. She's such a good friend because she acted as a guru to Lakshmana. Now you may say, how come she's the mother of Lakshmana? How did she, Lakshmana and Shatrughna, but how did she act as a guru for Lakshmana? So in Ayodhya Kanda, which is the next Kanda which we will go through, in the entire Ramayana, the most important shloka. Now you may say, is that the shloka we discussed yesterday, Mataji, the Bija mantra? No. Yes, that is a very, seed mantra. It has its own importance, but the most important mantra was actually spoken by Sumitra Devi. And this shloka was spoken by Sumitra Devi just when Lakshmana, along with Rama and Sita, they were all leaving to Ayodhya. They were leaving Ayodhya and going to Dandakaranya, going on exile. How did she expand the limitation of Lakshmana? She said, Lakshmana, from today onwards, don't, Dasharatha is not your father. Consider Rama as Dasharatha. Rama is your father. And she says, I am not your mother from today. Who is your mother? Janaki is your mother. So like this she continues. Maybe we will again go through this when we come to Ayodhya Kanda along with the shloka. So every parent, every guru, this is the instruction they give. The so-called father, the so-called mother, the so-called, bandhu balaga, the relatives, they are not actually your real family. The real family, who is it? The Supreme Lord is your father. Sita Devi, Radharani, they are your mother. So a guru is the one who will give us this connection, re-establish this connection with the Supreme Lord. And that role was played by Sumitra Devi. So Sumitra Devi, she actually spoke the most important shloka of the whole Ramayana. And she's a very glorious, chaste lady. So this is the second wife that Maharaj Dashrath accepted. And in spite of having two wives, he still did not have any children. And the third wife that he accepted was Kaikeyi. So Kaikeyi comes from Kaikeya Desha, and actually, as per the Vedic geographical understanding, it is said that Kaikeya Desha is the present Afghanistan. She comes from similar place like where Gandhari came from, because Gandhari came from Gandhar. That Gandhar is the present day Kandahar. So Afghanistan, Kandahar, similar regions. And how did he accept Kaikeyi? So once during a war, Kaikeyi disguised as a man. She was very expert in warfare. So disguised as a man, actually she was also very beautiful, and she had helped Dasharatha Maharaj. And Dasharatha Maharaj was attracted to her, and he accepted her as the wife. But the Kaikeya king, that is the father of Kaikeyi, had accepted this marriage proposal based on one condition, and that one condition was that the child born from Kaikeyi will be made the king of Ayodhya. And this is where Dasharath Maharaj faltered. He gave his promise. At that time, because he did not have any children, he was hoping that he will get some children from Kaikeyi, and he accepted to this proposal. So this promise was known by Dasharath Maharaj, Kaikeyi, and Kaikeyi's father. And later this becomes a huge problem. So now these are the three primary queens, the wives of Dasharath Maharaj, but he also had 350 other wives. Now, how come he accepted 350 wives? This is where enters another great personality and incarnation of the Supreme Lord Parashurama. So, as we know, Parashurama, he was going around the world 21 times, killing all the ignoble, unrighteous kings, Kshatriyas. And every time he was going like this, Parashurama had imposed one condition upon himself. And what was that condition? He said, any king at the time of the arrival of Parashurama, if he is in the mandapa, mandapa means when he is getting married, at that time Parashurama had said he will not kill that king. And any time when Parashurama comes, if the king is engaged in Sringara Rasa, at that time also Parashurama will not kill the king. So having known this, this is why Maharaj Dashrath, every single time that Parashurama came, he would find somebody or the other. There was no like looking at horoscope, Jataka. If he's alive only, he will be able to see all these, right? So every time Parashurama came, Dashrath Maharaj found someone or the other and he would be getting married to them. So this is how Parashuram, he did not fight or kill, Dashrath Maharaj. So in this context, Dashrath Maharaj accepted 350 other wives. So 350 plus 3, together he had 353 wives. Although he had 353 wives, the 350 wives other than Kaushalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi are not called Patni, they are called Bharya. Right? There are different names in Sanskrit. Is such a profound language that the same person, depending on how we address, what word we use to address, it could mean different things. So here Bharya means she who carries the burden, carries the responsibility of running the family of the husband. So 350 Bharyas, but the three primary queens, Kaushalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, they are Pattamahishis. And among these three Pattamahishis also, Kaushalya is the Patni, Dharma Patni. So who is a dharma patni? In all the dharma karyas a husband engages in, the patni will accompany him, assist him, and together she will also perform along with the husband. So anytime Dasharath Maharaj did any of the dharmic rituals, it is Kaushalya who will sit with him, not Kaikeyi, not Sumitra, none of the other 350 wives. So this is how Dasharath Maharaj had 353 wives but no children except for one daughter. And that daughter, her name was Shanta. And this Shanta was given in adoption to a friend of Maharaj Dasharath, Angaraja. This Angaraja's name was Romapada. He's called Romapada because he had lot of Roma hair on his feet. Pada. So Romapada Maharaj also did not have any children. And Dasharath Maharaj and Romapada were great friends, and Romapada accepted Shanta, the daughter of Dasharath Maharaj, as an adopted daughter. And when this Angarajya was going through 12 years of drought, there were no rains. So actually there was incident that happened. We don't have the time to go into all of those pastimes because we are just going through a brief summary. So this Angarajya was cursed by the Brahmanas, and because of that curse they were going through 12 years of drought period, and all the citizens were distressed. And because of this, somebody advised Romapada that if you can bring Rishya Shringa. Rishya means he who was the son of a rishi. Shringa means he had the horns of a deer. So very interesting person, and he was a perfect brahmachari. And this Rishiyashringa, he had some mark. It is called some kind of a chakra. These are all astrological predictions. So because he had that mark on his feet, wherever he places his feet, in whichever kingdom, there the rain, the seasons, everything will be auspicious. So somebody told this Romapada Maharaj that because your country, your kingdom is going through this drought, why don't you bring Rishiyashringa? But now it was not an easy thing to bring Rishishringa, because Rishishringa was the son of Vibhanda, Vibhanda Rishi. Now Vibhanda Rishi also was a great Rishi. He did many, many years of tapasya. Now if you're getting a little overwhelmed with all these names, please don't. Okay, I just relish the story, and most importantly, there are some philosophical aspects that we will bring about, so you can pay attention to those. So this Vibhanda Rishi, many years of tapasya when he was doing, as always, Indra gets insecure. And because of his insecurity, Indra sends a heavenly damsel, and she comes and does the tapasya bhanga. She disrupts the austerity, the penance of this Vibhanda Rishi. And Vibhanda Rishi, along with this damsel, they beget a child, and that child is this Rishyashringa. But she, being a heavenly damsel, she goes away, leaving the child and the husband. And it is this Vibhanda Rishi who was actually pretty upset with this damsel, and because of that, he had kind of a negative impression of the entire womankind. So he raised his son in such a way that he didn't even know, this Rishyashringa didn't even know what is a woman, who is a woman. So Vibhanda Rishi raised Rishyashringa in a very remote forest jungle region, where forget about women in the form of humans, but not even like women, female birds, female animals, none of them were allowed in that region. So he was a perfect brahmachari. He didn't even know what is a woman, who is a woman. And this Rishyashringa, now how is he going to be brought to Angaraj? So there was a dancer in this kingdom of Angaraj, and she took up this responsibility. She told the king that please give me the responsibility. I will somehow or other bring this Rishyashringa, and she succeeded in doing this. She disguised herself. She went along with a few other ladies, friends of hers, and they attract this Rishyashringa and somehow or other bring him. And the moment Rishyashringa places his foot in Angarajya, immediately there is rain. And not only this, the whole pastime is quite detailed. So Rishishringa ends up marrying Shanta. So in that sense, actually he is the son-in-law of Dasharath Maharaj. And after this incident, this as all these pastimes are happening, Vibhanda Rishi is not very happy about this. Once he gets to know, he comes to Romapad Maharaj, but on the way, Romapad Maharaj, there are certain things he does in order to calm down Vibhanda Rishi. Anyhow, after all this, Vasishta Muni instructs Dasharatha Maharaj that please perform Putra Kameshti Yajna. And who should perform this yajna? It should be this Rishi Shringa. So actually, Putra Kameshti Yajna or any other yajna with a purpose for begetting or fulfilling certain desire, these are not very recommended. This is more of karmakandic rituals. So I know many of us are devotees, so we should not be very inclined towards performing such karmakandic rituals. However, because Dasharath Maharaj was very distressed of not having the son and it is his responsibility to give a heir to the kingdom, he does perform this Putra Kameshti Yajna, and while performing this, there is a Purusha who is called Yajna Purusha, but in the Ramayana specifically, this Purusha is called Prajapati Purusha. He appeared. And this Prajapati Purusha, he had this golden vessel, golden utensil in which it was covered with a silver lid, golden utensil covered with a silver plate, and it had this special pudding, payasam, kheer. And he gave this vessel to Maharaj Dasharath, saying that please distribute this to your queens so that way they will all bear male children. And how did Dasharath Maharaj split this special pudding, kheer? He first split it into half, and that half of the payasam was first given to Kaushalya. She is Patni, Dharma Patni. And Kausalya consumed that half a portion. And the remaining half, Dasharatha Maharaj again split into half. So half of half is 1/4. So that 1/4, the Shesha from Kausalya, that was given to Sumitra Devi. But Sumitra Devi did not immediately consume it. So half was given to Kaushalya Devi, the remaining half of half, that is 1/4, was given to Sumitra Devi, which she has not yet consumed. And in that remaining 1/4, and that quarter again Dashrath Maharaj split into half. So that is 1/8. So that 1/8 portion was given to Kaikeyi, which she consumed. And that final part, that 1/8 part, was again given to Sumitra Devi. So the two Sheshas, Shesha means remaining. The half that was remaining from Kausalya Devi, that Shesha was given to Sumitra Devi. And the quarter, the Shesha remaining from the quarter, that is 1/8 from Kaikeyi Devi, that Shesha was also given to Sumitra Devi. So Sumitra Devi got two Shesha parts, 1/4 and 1/8. So in time, all these three queens, they conceived by the divine providence. And unlike the human pregnancy, normal pregnancy, which goes for about 9 months, 10 days, here they were there in the wombs of their mother for 12 months, the Supreme Lord, isn't it? So on a Navami day, Navami noon time, so Lord Ramachandra was born. So it's very interesting that Lord Ramachandra takes birth at 12 p.m. and Krishna takes birth at 12 a.m. Chandravamsha, Suryavamsha. And although Rama is born in Suryavamsha, he is called Ramachandra. Very interesting. So on Navami noon, Ramachandra was born. And the next day, that is Dashami, Dashami morning, Bharata was born. Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharata. And Dashami afternoon, Sumitra Devi, because she consumed two portions, she gave birth to two children, that is Lakshmana and Shatrughna, twins. So if we see the order, dear devotees, we should say Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna. But is that the order in which we call them? No. We always say Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. Now, Valmiki Maharshi, right in the beginning, when we sang the Mangalacharan prayers for Ramayana, Valmiki Maharshi is compared to two different creatures. One is Kokila, a cuckoo bird. So, just like a cuckoo very sweetly sings, Valmiki Maharshi was also very sweetly, melodiously sung Ramayana. But also, Valmiki Maharshi is compared to a simha, a lion. Although he sang Ramayana melodiously, he also roared like a lion. So, what do these two things imply? Singing like a cuckoo and roaring like a lion. So, singing like a cuckoo implies the kavya, the poetry. You can relish Ramayana just for the sweet pastimes. All the rasas are there, like we discussed yesterday. So, you can relish just the story part of it, the pastimes part of it. But if you peel the layers and if you go deeper and deeper and deeper, Ramayana also roars like a lion. How does this roar? This is the philosophical aspect of Ramayana which brings forth the Vedic truths. So, similarly, here and there during this Ramayana series, I will not only give you the story part of it, my dear friends, because I know the story pretty much everybody knows, which we will also touch upon. But at certain places, I will also try to give you a glimpse into the roaring of a lion, the philosophical aspect of Ramayana, the Vedic truths that we can, these gems that we can learn from Ramayana. So now there is such wonderful Vedic truth that we are going to try and learn from the birth of these four divine personalities. They are actually the Supreme Lord themselves. Lord Rama is Supreme Lord and all his brothers, they are expansions. So why do we say Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, although it is not in that order that they were born? So what is the philosophy behind this? What is the reasoning behind this? So when all these four boys were born, they were crying incessantly. And how they were crying? Neither would they sleep, nor would they let their mother sleep. And this was the case with all four children in three palaces. Kaushalya is also troubled. Sumitra is also thinking, my God, why are they crying so much? And Kaikeyi is also thinking, after so long these kids were born and why are they crying like this? And Sumitra, she took both her sons, that is Lakshmana and Shatrughna, and she came to Kausalya's palace to see what is going on with Rama and Kausalya. And here she sees even Rama is crying. He's wailing like anything. And Kaushalya said, wow, so your kids are also crying? So, and then Sumitra placed these two boys, that is Lakshmana and Shatrughna, right next to Rama, and immediately something interesting happened. And what is that thing? Rama and Lakshmana stopped crying and they started giggling. You know, these baby giggles are so cute. And they found this very fascinating. Kaushalya and Sumitra were stunned. Wow, so Rama and Lakshmana stopped crying. And now they are very happy. They are smiling, they are giggling. And now Sumitra left Lakshmana there. Kausalya said, you leave Lakshmana here only. At least two of these kids, let them be peaceful. And then Sumitra took Shatrughna and went to Kaikeyi's palace to see what's going on with Bharata. And there even Bharata was crying like anything. Now she placed Shatrughna next to Bharata and immediately Bharata and Shatrughna also calmed down and both of them also beamed this big beautiful smile and both of them were peaceful. And since then, although Sumitra was the mother of two children, she gave away one child to each. That is Lakshmana with Rama and then Shatrughna with Bharata. And since then, wherever Lakshmana Rama goes, Lakshmana is there, and wherever Bharata goes, Shatrughna follows. Now, what is the philosophy behind this? Why Lakshmana with Rama and why Shatrughna with Bharata? So, we all know that there are four Purusharthas. What are they? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So these four sons of Dasharatha Maharaj, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, they represent these four Purusharthas. Rama represents Dharma, religiosity, and Lakshmana represents Artha, and Bharata represents Moksha. Shatrughna represents Kama. So what lessons can we learn from this? See, when Lakshmana and Shatrughna were born, that is Artha and Kama, when they were together, they were crying. So similarly, we also, the moment there is Kama, who is represented by Shatrughna, what is Kama? Material desire. Desire to enjoy independently of Krishna. So the moment this material desire is there, in order to fulfill that material desire, we need Artha. So we see how can I earn more wealth, how can I, increase my prosperity so I can fulfill my desires. The more my desires, the more I need Artha, the more I need wealth in order to fulfill. But as long as you are using Artha to fulfill your Kama, you will always be crying. That means you will always be suffering. The more desires you have, the more you try to fulfill your desires with your economic prosperity, the more you will suffer. Why? Because there is no protection of dharma. So never ever this Kama and Artha should be together. That is why we see no matter how materially prosperous somebody is, as long as they have these kamanas, material desires, they are suffering in spite of their Artha. So what should we do? Lakshmana, who is Artha, Artha should always be engaged in the protection of dharma. So that is why Lakshmana and Rama always together. Artha engaged in the protection of dharma. If you engage your Artha, wealth, in the protection of dharma, then dharma will protect you in turn. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma will protect you, but when will it protect? If you also protect dharma. If you protect dharma, dharma will protect you. So the right engagement for Artha, wealth, is in the service of dharma, in the protection of dharma, in the service of the Supreme Lord. To the extent that you engage Artha in the protection of dharma, your sukha will go up. To the extent that you engage Artha in your own sense gratification, that is kama, that is fulfilling material desires, your dukkha will go up. This is the deep understanding. And what about Bharata and Shatrughna? So Shatrughna represents kama. As long as the desire is for one's own enjoyment, again we will suffer. But the moment you engage your desire towards moksha, when will I get liberated? How will I serve the Lord? So Bharata represents moksha, Shatrughna represents kama. Desire for moksha, or purifying your desires, spiritualizing your desires that will not bind you but will liberate you, take you towards moksha, then you will be content. So like this, Artha should be engaged for the protection of dharma, and the kama, the desire, should be spiritualized by moving in the direction of moksha, being with moksha. So Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. And also what else can we learn? These three brothers, that is Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna, teach us something very important along with Lord Rama. So Rama teaches us how to live in this world. How to live in this world means what? How to be a human, a good human. Rama doesn't teach us about bhakti, he teaches us how to be humane. But how to learn bhakti from these three brothers, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna? So those of you who are taking notes can definitely jot these things down. So Lakshmana, what does he teach us in bhakti? He teaches us the bhava of parartha bhava. Parartha bhava. The opposite of parartha is swartha. So swartha means what? I should enjoy. I am the bhokta. Bhokta means enjoyer. So what is the opposite of I am the enjoyer? Parartha bhava. Give enjoyment to Rama. So Lakshmana teaches us this parartha bhava. Wherever there is Rama, there is Lakshmana. He teaches us how to give enjoyment to Rama. Krishna also says in 5.29 of Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. I am the supreme enjoyer. I am the Bhokta. But as long as we think I am enjoyer, then we will suffer. But the moment we act like Lakshmana, Parartha Bhava, give enjoyment to Rama, then we will be very happy. Then we will automatically, by default, we will also enjoy by giving enjoyment to the Supreme Lord. And what does Bharata teach? Bharata teaches Paratantra Bhava. I'll repeat that. Lakshmana teaches us Parartha Bhava, that give enjoyment to Para, that is the Supreme Lord. Bharata teaches us Paratantra Bhava. The opposite of Paratantra is Swatantra. Swatantra means wanting to be independent. This is Ishvara Swabhava. I am the controller. I am independent. I will control. I will change. I will do this. So as long as we have this Ishvara Swabhava, again we will suffer. But what is the opposite of Swatantra Bhava? Paratantra Bhava. That means I am always dependent on the Supreme Lord. The Jiva is never ever independent. The Jiva is always dependent, both in its conditioned state and in the liberated state. So in that same shloka 5.29, Krishna also says, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Maha Ishwara. Krishna says, I am the supreme controller. So the sooner we understand this and the sooner we act like Bharata, the Paratantra Bhava, the dependent Bhava, then we will be aligned, we will be in harmony. And what can we learn from Shatrughna? Shatrughna teaches us the topmost Bhava, that is Bhagavata Seva Bhava. So what is this Bhagavata Seva Bhava? See, Lakshmana considered Rama himself as his life. That wherever Rama is, I will be there physically with him. So how to directly serve the Lord? This we learn from Lakshmana. But what did Bharata do? Lakshmana considered Rama as his life. Bharata considered the service of Rama as his life. Which is more important? Both are good. But which one is better? Which one is higher? The bhava expressed by Bharata. The service to the Lord is greater than Lord himself. So Bharata showcases this. Because he served Lord Rama in the absence of Rama for 14 years, the way he ruled Ayodhya. And what does Shatrughna teach? Bhagavata Seva means serving the devotee who is serving the Lord. And which is the topmost among all these three? Lakshmana serving Rama directly. Bharata serving Rama indirectly. Indirectly means by taking the responsibility of, ruling Ayodhya. And Shatrughna serving Bharata who is serving Rama. So the topmost of all these three is actually what Shatrughna is doing. Bhagavata Seva. So through these three brothers, we learn the three different ways in how we can serve the Lord. Serving the Lord directly and accepting the service of the Lord and doing it with great responsibility, just like Bharata did. And number three, serving the devotee who is serving the Lord. And the topmost is this Bhagavata Seva. And it's very interesting that Bharata actually he represents moksha. And the moment we say moksha, we think we have to leave and go to the forest in order to achieve liberation. No. Liberation, moksha, is not something that we attain at the end of our life, devotees. It's not something that happens after death. It is something that happens right now. How? Just like Bharata, he represents moksha, but what did he do? He didn't give up everything and go to the forest. He stayed. And what did he do? He took up the service of Lord Rama with responsibility. He ruled Ayodhya, which is not his, as though it is his. So when we also take the responsibility of rendering service to the Lord, that is actually moksha for us. That is the liberated state. Now you may say, but I have a family, I'm running my family. Yes, you run your family just like Bharata ran Ayodhya. You take the responsibility of maintaining your family, which is not yours, like as though it is yours, knowing that your family belongs to Krishna, knowing that your wife, your husband, your children, your house, your wealth, your job, everything belongs to the Lord, but you're taking care of it as though it is his, as though it is yours, with that responsibility, knowing that it actually belongs to, everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. This is moksha sadhana. So many wonderful things that we can learn from all these brothers. But we should also remember, the moment we take up service of the Lord with such great responsibility, there will be some criticisms. Just like Bharata, so many criticized him. Vasishta Muni criticized him. Criticism means they doubted him. Oh, you have, you are wanting to take away the kingdom from Rama. Even Lakshmana doubted him. So similarly, when we are in the service of the Lord also, following in the footsteps of Bharata, there's so many doubts, speculations, criticisms that can come our way. But although others will criticize us or others will doubt us, but one thing is for sure, the Supreme Lord has the confidence in us when we act like Bharata. Just like when Bharata was approaching Chitrakoot with all this, Ayodhya Vasis, or with all his mothers and all the paraphernalia to bring back Rama, Lakshmana noticed Bharata coming, and Lakshmana got, he lost his temper, and he's like, oh, this Bharata, he is coming now to kill you. But he has to first face me. I will shoot him down. I will fight with him. Rama said, Lakshmana, calm down. Do you want the kingdom? Lakshmana's face changed. He said, what do you mean? I don't want the kingdom. So Rama said, if at all you want the kingdom, Lakshmana, if I say one word to Bharata, immediately Bharata will give the kingdom to you. With this statement, Rama showed what is the kind of confidence he has in Bharata. Everybody is doubting Bharata, Vasishta Muni, Lakshmana, and so many others. But look at the confidence that Rama has in Bharata, that he is saying, Lakshmana, if I say one word to Bharata, he will give away the kingdom to you. So when we also take up the responsibility of taking this, responsibility of serving whole Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the family of Krishna, in the spirit that Bharata did, this is the level of confidence Krishna has in his devotees. So, like this, from these four brothers, there are so many amazing philosophical teachings that we can glean from. And tomorrow, when we come back, we will see how, actually, we will complete off this today. So, Dasharath Maharaj, when all these four boys, they grew up, as they were growing, Dasharath Maharaj took them to Vasishta Muni's Gurukul. And he also sat there. And Dasharath Maharaj said, I want to see how you are going to teach my sons. Vasishta Muni said, no, 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 it's not going to happen this way. You have to please leave. Oh, Maharaj Dasharath, we will take care of your boys. We will teach them everything. So you please, take leave. So once Dasharath Maharaj left, actually Vasishta Muni knew that all these four boys are none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So once Maharaj Dasharath left, what did Vasishta Muni do? He did 3 pradakshinas for these boys, and he paid his obeisances to all of them. And in his mind, he is thinking, you are the Adi Guru. All the knowledge emanates from you. And you are the one who is supposed to be known through all the knowledge. Krishna speaks about this in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And then Vasishta Muni, because he has to play that role. So what does he do? He trains these four boys in all the 64 arts. So this was the glory of Gurukul. You don't have to go here, there, this class, that class, music, one teacher, dance, another teacher, some other class, another teacher, mathematics. Gurukul means all the arts, everything, all the knowledge is given in one place. So very nicely, all the four boys are trained. And tomorrow, when we come back, there is a big event that is going to happen with the entry of Vishwamitra Muni. So we will see how that is going to bring out the glory of Lord Ramachandra. And we also said Balakanda is actually named after Vishwamitra Muni. So tomorrow, that character, that great personality, Vishwamitra Muni, is going to enter into our Ramayana series. So we will also traverse along. So please join us on this journey. Wish you all a very happy Pongal, Makara Sankranti again. Hope you have a great festival celebration. But tomorrow, don't miss. Again, back sharp at 6 o'clock Indian time. We will gather again and we will continue this wonderful Valmiki Ramayana series. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us this morning. Let's do a quick Premadhvani. Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Valmiki Maharshi ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, devotees. See you tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna.